One thing I need to establish, I'm not really suggesting that you open whatever C++ project you're currently working on and set aside a number of days or weeks to update it. If it's working and you can read it and you remember how it worked, then it's probably not your top priority to change it. But people start new projects all the time. When you bring that code forward into a brand new project, maybe an update would be a good idea. Certainly when you go to the great bathroom wall that is the internet and you say, hey, how do I read text from a file? How do I write text to a file? How do I get a random number? How do I? A lot of the code that you find is really, really old school. And that includes in the online documentation for, say, unrelated products. I will very often say, ooh, a sample for exciting new technology X. And then when I look at the sample, it's a console app full of printf. And I'm like, really? Printf? That's what we're doing in 2012? Or it's carstar strings, or it's manual memory management, because that's not what the sample's about. The sample's all about shiny, exciting technology X. That's fine. Go ahead and use their lines of code about shiny, exciting technology X, but do not take their crufty old C with classes that was wrapped around it. Whether it's your habits or the habits of the person who wrote your sample or the habits of the person who wrote the online documentation, do not enshrine that in the code you're using today. Sometimes we think that, well, someone with 20 plus years of C++ experience wrote this code, and if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. Well, that person may have been copying those same 10 lines for 15 of the last 20 years because, I know this works. Sure, I know there's newfangled string classes, but heck, I know how to do this. You don't have to take all of that over into your new world. And this is especially true when you're demonstrating something to somebody else or writing a proof of concept. So if you're going to other people within your team to say, I think our Windows 8 apps should be in C++ because technical reason. And let me show you how simple it is to do, and you put up this, gnarly, crufty, old stuff full of punctuation marks that people can't read, and someone else says, wait, doesn't that have a memory leak? And you're like, oh, it's just a proof of concept. Come on. Write clean, readable, safe, nice, modern C++. And if the samples that you find aren't modern, let's make them modern.